Welcome, folks. Back again. Welcome to your weekly select board meeting. Our administrative assistant is off today, so we might be a little disorganized. At least we can start with the town clerk report, who is not disorganized. Yeah, no double negative. I just want to make sure.
Yes. I just wanted to mention on the hunter safety course we talked about when I was here last meeting, that is going to be postponed due to lack of instructors. It's a 4-time, and Stephen Barr was actually going to come out himself, but they're having a hard time filling up Standish course that's available in a couple weeks. So he is going to offer it to us. We're going to revisit it in the spring, and there was just no sense to rush it because it's only a few weeks from now. So we'd like to do it right and have enough time for registration. So he's going to keep me in the loop, and there'll be more instructors available in the springtime for that. But I would like to share the Standish course to help them with that on our Facebook page, if that's okay.
Certainly okay with me.
Just a quick update on the 2022 taxes. We originally had 100 accounts that owed. Today we have 68 accounts. And just wanted to mention these are due by August 31st, and then a lien will be recorded. We are working on finishing up the town report. When is the warrant going to be finalized?
I think it's basically finalized.
Well,
We have to give Debbie some more information.
yeah,
But
the budget will be finalized tonight. Debbie's still got some work on the warrant itself.
Okay. So hopefully next week possibly, or?
Yeah.
definitely.
Renee put together the cover and just wanted to share that, make sure everybody's okay with it. This is Molten Hill Road, over on, well, looking at Molten Hill. And McGowan submitted it to us on our photo contest. So if that looks okay to everybody,
Looks pretty.
Yep, works for me.
we'll do that. And if anyone wanted to look at this page,
That's Wes's.
this is the dedication page.
Good.
There's quite a write-up. So we got the picture of this week, so I don't know if you guys want to look
Can
at
you
it.
move down just a little bit, or no?
The photo?
Everything.
Yep, we can
You
try.
got I like to see things centered. That's me.
Yep.
Just stupid.
So we're gonna do color on those 2 pages anyways. So, I sent Debbie this information a while ago and kind of wanted to wait until I was here to discuss it. I've been talking to some people on these private cemeteries, and I did include the information from MMA Legal for the agenda, for my report here. Basically, I've been talking to Deb Harrington, and they had a lot of storm damage, and I think you guys are aware that there's other storm damage on these other private cemeteries, in addition to the town cemetery, the fencing there. So, I did ask MMA Legal if it was legal to spend town funds to repair private cemeteries, and indeed is. And she quoted the statute and explained it, so I was hoping that you guys would look at that. Looks like we've got quite a bit of money in the reserve account, maybe 300 or so. We only spent 2,200 this year, and 7,000 was appropriated. I'm not talking really, I don't think they're looking for maintenance and mowing. I'm thinking they're looking for fencing repairs. There's some huge trees down on Chase Road Cemetery. And veterans are in most of our cemeteries. So I think you guys really need to look at that.
How do we pick and choose what we're gonna work on? Because there are so many out there.
Well, I've
How many,
heard from
Wes
3
identified how many cemeteries?
There are over 160.
Okay, so.
Right. But I have heard from 3 or 4 people that have come and said, geez, you know what, we've got these huge oak trees that are across these cemeteries, we cannot remove them. In situations like that, it would be nice if they would come to the board and say, listen, we are requesting $500 to remove these oak trees, clean up the cemetery. Maybe a process like that, I don't know. But it's pretty disgusting out there. I mean,
Well, we have our 3 cemeteries we're
right,
should take care of and have to do a better job taking care of.
is there a plan to rebuild the town cemetery fence yet?
There is no plan, no.
Okay.
A lot of talk.
You know, we've talked about it a couple times, a couple people have looked at it, but there is no plan.
I just think this should be looked at. I drive by the Chase Road one a lot. I've taken quite a few pictures of it. It's just disrespectful. So,
Well, okay, please don't say that, because we are not disrespectful.
it's
okay?
we put flags out for veteran cemeteries,
Yes.
and it is legal for the town to pay for tree removal in that cemetery.
Okay, we do need town approval to do that. We approved monies for the 3 town cemeteries.
Okay.
We would need to approve monies, and it might be the same budget,
Yep.
but we need to approve monies for private cemeteries as well.
It wouldn't come out of the same account?
It very well could.
Okay.
But
The spending.
what does the article look like where we raise money for cemeteries? Oh, I used to know where everything was. Bundled with something, so I'm missing it. Well, I guess we don't need to find it. We can look at it.
Well, there's 6,000 for mowing and care of veterans' graves in here,
Yeah,
and that's how it's worded.
yeah,
It's Article 30.
okay, thank you. That's where I was looking. I'm looking at something here. That's right. Yep. All right, well, we'll need to look at that further, I would
Well,
say.
certainly. Come up with a plan.
Is that the money is that where the money the mowing for the 3 cemeteries comes out of that
Yeah.
article?
Yeah.
He only spent 2,200 this year. So it's quite a bit left over.
Yeah,
But
And
we'll
what's
certainly take care of the 3 cemeteries at the town. The other 130 cemeteries is gonna have to be some kind of plan devised. Whether people that are concerned call us, call you, let us know what's going on, but obviously I think the town can't be responsible for 130 cemeteries.
But not all of them need repair.
Well, I don't know. Some of them, Wes had a difficult time finding. So, we'll
No,
see.
yeah, you're right. There would need to be some kind of plan. People would need to come forward and say, and then I would think in the future, like, not have a special meeting, but have it during a planned meeting every year. Say the town meeting or a planned meeting every year.
Or we can
that people-
allocate so much
well, that,
money for those other cemeteries.
There's money
and-
in there, apparently there's like
There's money.
$5,500
That's-
for 5,000. I know that, but say you just used that 5,000 every year, but it should be mechanized somehow that if every year there's, at the same meeting, people talk it over and say, we'd like to put the money, and everyone says, okay. know
Right.
what I mean?
I mean,
Instead of
theoretically,
having a
the
special town meeting.
2 or
for
3
it,
worst cemeteries every year get addressed.
Correct, like someone comes with a big, but I mean, we have cemeteries on our property that there's trees in the middle of the cemetery like this big, so that, you know.
Yeah,
A lot of
that's what I
money.
was talking about, how do you prioritize it?
Right,
Who you-
well, it would be if, we don't ever want anyone doing anything with the cemeteries on our property, you know what I mean? But somebody might want something done to the cemetery on their property, so they come to the town and say, hey, this is what I got.
Put
and
in
then
a request.
put a request in for X amount of money, and does it seem
Oh,
feasible?
we can prioritize them, and based upon the amount of money that was approved each year,
Right,
we can just keep tacking them, addressing them.
right. I mean, there's some like on Keys Mountain Road that are nothing but a forest,
Right.
you know what I mean? So,
Right.
yeah.
I'm talking about, I guess, storm damage. We've had 2 really bad storms. It's, I mean, toppled over trees across veteran graves. I mean,
Right.
it looks
No, well, I
terrible.
understand, but that's
So-
happened to a lot of graves that nobody sees. So what's the difference for that veteran is the one somebody sees, kind of thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But, yeah, I know, I understand, and like they hit this one with a vehicle over here, knocked the granite all
Yeah,
off.
he's
It would
been
be nice
into-
to see the granite reset,
Yep.
because it's granite, but, you know,
Okay.
All right, so we need a plan, let's think about it.
Yep.
And maybe we can use the same, budget. Right.
it's hard, because what if there is no veteran in the grave that
Right.
you hit? You know, I don't know. Wes might be the only one that knows this stuff, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So, and it says veterans' graves. It's boldly.
Well, you can read, yeah, it's quite the
Well-
statute. It's quite a bit of description that it might fit.
It might fit other people, if
Other-
there is no veterans'
Maintain
grave.
private cemeteries established before 1880. That's one of them. Care for graves of veterans, that's another.
So, yeah, I think she explained it very clearly. So, great.
And it is a little difficult, like, it's not difficult, but, we're gonna have our own cemetery on our property. Well, people can do that, you know, there's very few guidelines, there's a few, but there's a few guidelines you gotta follow, so anyone can just pop up a cemetery anywhere, kind of, you know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
we could have endless cemeteries before we're done.
Well, in terms of most towns, we already have endless cemeteries.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess it would be just a resource for help if someone needed help. It would be a resource.
I agree, if somebody came and said, I would like to fix that, could I get X amount of money, I would think it would be a great
Right.
thing.
Okay.
And Wes might be a good resource there, and Jack Ertler, who's been doing some stuff.
Good.
So, okay,
Great.
good.
General question. Is this road public hearing gonna be on Facebook Live?
You asked me that, I said yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I was planning on.
Okay, I didn't publish
broadcasting.
it and I was just curious. I
Yeah.
didn't know if it was in the planning board was all set to do
Yeah,
that.
as long as we have time to set up after this meeting.
Okay. All right. Tax collection updates are at the bottom and I'm all set. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. As customary, we reviewed the agenda for this week and approved the minutes for last week. And done the same thing with the bill, approving the bills and approving it. The bills for August 22nd to be paid. There's reviewing the ads. There'll be an ad going into the shopping guide. 23 municipal election town meeting notice. September 9th. So, the election is September 8th. And we'll keep posting that. Code enforcement. There was a complaint concerning people logging property next to their property and using their property for access. Our CEO is talking with those people along with the ranger involved. So that's being looked at right now. We're not quite sure when this took place. The complaint says recently, the last 6 months or so. So we don't know whether this is a few weeks ago or quite a few months ago. York County Sheriff's Report, we've had that for this month. Animal Control, the Deputy Animal Control Officer stopped in, said hello. We don't know whether our existing officer got his new job or not. We'll know that in the next week or two. Planning Board, nothing. There'll be some notes from the Planning Board, I'm assuming, next week. Appeals Board, nothing. Comprehensive Committee, Harvey, you're still on for August 29th?
Yes,
And you're just about finishing up?
well, we're rounding the bend.
Okay, well, that's good. I don't know if David got any more information from the
I did
solar.
not.
Okay. The Budget Committee, discussions that Gary put have been completed, but there were two things we were gonna take out. One was some dumpsters. We're gonna take it out of our budget and add it to the ARPA budget, so the town won't be paying for some dumpsters to go along with our Tri-Town program. Stanley Building, we won't know anything. I guess they're all gonna meet, all the attorneys are gonna meet August 25th. And hopefully some kind of a decision will be made.
Did you want to talk about budget numbers at all? Or just mention what they are,
Okay,
so people can be prepared?
I don't wanna, no,
I know you
Sure.
don't like bad news, Ed.
no, it's not that bad, actually. Go ahead, David. Do you wanna?
Okay, first of all, there was an oversight in the amount of money that was budgeted or shown in the budget for health insurance. It was shown as 53,000. It's going to be closer to 95,000 in reality. So we got about a $42,000 jump there from the budget numbers that were presented. But right now, our budget shows about $103,000 more than last year. And Ed, you had a number for how much higher that is? 6%? Is that right?
I have 300 higher thousand,
Oh,
350,000.
oh, I'm sorry. Yes. My mistake. I was looking at the difference.
The old budget
Yeah.
for last year was 353,000, I'm sorry, that's the difference. 4,200,000 or 300,000, and this year's budget is 4,600,000.
Yeah.
A difference of 300,000, 350,000, which is broken up, and we'll certainly go over all this in the town meeting, but winter roads, winter maintenance, winter roads contracts were new this year and jumped up considerably. The roads themselves, because of all the storms, cost us a lot of additional money. The health insurance that David mentioned. So it just adds up to about $300,000 of additional expending. Some contract,
The winter road budget was.
some winter rate.
Winter road budget was about 114,000 of that.
Yep.
And the summer general highway budget, we proposed to go up 70,000.
Yeah, I mean, the winter road budget was $156,000 more. And the roads themselves were $93,000 more. So, You add that up and you're more than half of the overage.
Oh, I take that back, I'm sorry. I wasn't adding in the New Hampshire contract.
Right, yeah.
Yep. I see that now, it was another 41,000, thanks to the great state of Maine.
And we have, you'll see in the report, we have a breakout of where the spending goes, with the schools leading obviously with 44%, and going down from there, so. We have no idea how much of an increase this is going to reflect. We'll do everything we can to keep it as small as possible. We have,
You need an increase in taxes.
well, increase, yeah, okay,
as
increase
opposed
in,
to an
yes,
Increase in the budget.
Yes.
Okay.
so. In conjunction with that, David set up a meeting with Marcus Ballou of MMA Risk Management, and we had a meeting with him and Phil Allen from Chalmers Insurance. And I don't know if we've decided on a provider yet. However, the MMA Risk Management offered us a lot of advantages and savings that Chalmers Insurance didn't. So I think we all want to,
Yeah, basically, we're looking at about a $4,000 savings, and what I think is better insurance. The risk pool knows municipalities, and things like having insurance to rent a building. We're covered. We don't have to require people to have it. Renting out the gym. The way that damage coverage is provided, it's like a pool of all our properties with a much higher limit than what we have right now. I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and go with the MMA risk pool.
don't forget there's also a credit in there too every year.
Yeah,
That-
I'm not gonna count on that, but
Well,
yes.
if we
yeah.
spend something that's insurance-wise a positive for them, they'll give us the credit for the cost.
Right, there is an annual allotment that we can use for different things, correct? Yeah,
There are also 2 grants available too, spring and fall,
yeah,
that we can take advantage of.
yeah. Hello, was that I saw something.
Question,
Yes,
is the old townhouse included, does it have insurance? in it?
absolutely. Yeah,
What does it cover?
what does it cover? It's the building and liability.
So replacement coverage or?
It would be replaced if it was completely destroyed. It would be obviously new construction.
It's not really replacement.
Pardon me?
That's not really replacement.
Okay, well,
Okay,
that's
thank
insurance replacement.
Yes, I understand.
Okay. It would be like that with any insurance company unless you paid through the nose. So, I made a motion, it's on the table.
What would you like to make, what was your motion?
My motion was to go with the MMA risk management pool.
I'll second that motion.
Okay?
Would you like to vote on it? All in favor? Opposed? Passed down
For those that are only listening, that
3-0.
was unanimous. I have 2 pages of the proposal that need to be signed. One is just in witness whereof this agreement was executed on, and we give the date and so on. And then the other is the statement of values for the buildings. So I will go ahead and, let's see, I can sign that one. This is the 22nd day of August.
And next on the agenda,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to backtrack, but can I
Okay.
just for a second? This logging concern, wouldn't that go to the forest ranger?
well, he's been involved with
Okay,
Jesse.
okay. And I spoke to him about it back when the road washed out, because he's my neighbor. And I never heard from him again, so I wasn't sure if he was involved or not.
Now, Jesse said he'd been out there with him, so.
Okay.
From what Jesse said, it was hard to determine if there was any activity going on. It didn't look like anything had happened for months.
Oh, the logging?
Yeah,
No, they hadn't, no, the logging issue, they logged it last fall.
oh, okay,
Well, they cleared the whole side of the hill, and I spoke to the forest ranger, I didn't look like they had proper water bars to divert the water, but then again, whether that would have even diverted it, I have no idea. But that had never been a problem before they logged it, obviously. So,
That was one of the biggest washouts too, I think.
yeah, it was. So I just think about this as, I'm not trying to uninvolve the town, but some of this stuff, is this where our hours go to our code enforcement officer if they don't need to be?
Yeah,
You know?
potentially.
Like, I don't think this is a code enforcement officer thing. This is not like, I don't believe we
well,
should.
people aren't gonna know that, though, I mean,
Well,
it's,
Jesse
No,
should
but-
know that.
Yeah,
oh, okay, well, all right.
We shouldn't be paying, if this switches to by the hour, we shouldn't be paying hours for him to go meet with somebody when it's not really any of the
His
town's
function,
business.
okay.
Because then people think it's the town's business, when it's not, you know what I mean? And we don't want everyone thinking of the logging problem, oh, well, they called the town, because it's not the town's problem.
We got 2 calls on this yesterday, and we told both of them to call the forest ranger.
Okay, and that's as it should be, correct?
On that same issue?
Yes.
Okay.
I called him when it happened, but I didn't hear from him, so I didn't know whether he was. So, and I didn't know the properties, you know, who's on whose property, any of that stuff. I just knew that there's proper practice, you know, for logging. That was.
can I get you?
Yep, I'm
something
sorry, Dave.
So I can ship that off after the meeting?
Private cemetery information, Danielle has given us a synopsis of that. I think the bottom line is we're gonna take care of the 3 town cemeteries and make sure they're respectable and look good. And that we'll set up a procedure with the town clerk, with Debbie, with whatever, to make sure that if people have a concern, they can report it. It can get on a list and it can be addressed as the money becomes available.
So is there? We dealt with this in other categories before. There's no way for that money to roll into the. When I first became selectman, we talked about this with the road commissioner. He shouldn't lose that money to work on the roads if
It
he
takes-
doesn't spend it that year. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Obviously, that wasn't an issue this year, but like with the cemetery, the money could stay in the cemetery account instead of going back to the general fund.
There's a reserve
What's
Right.
for it
that?
to roll into. There is a reserve set up for cemeteries.
But does it roll
Yeah,
into it? or
that's
does it-
for, those are for specific
The specific
cemeteries.
ones?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a general,
Okay.
private
But
cemetery.
that could be done, it could be,
Yeah.
have to be done in a town meeting to
Right.
take additional excess funds and put it into
Well, and
reserve.
then you maybe could, I mean, I don't know, $5,000 would fix that fence, to put a new fence up, you know what I'm saying? But a couple of years, if you had 5,000 left from a couple of years, you might be able to do it with that. And the money's voted for every year, so the people are expecting to spend that much every year. But you're not, or we're not, so.
But we spend half of it for mowing and
Well, right, but the money. the-
general cleanup.
Right, and the money that's left isn't getting used, so
Right, it goes into the general fund.
in 1 year's worth of that money couldn't fix the cemetery, but maybe 2 years' worth of that money could. So instead of having a special town meeting to say, hey, could we have $10,000 to fix the
We
cemetery?
could put it into reserve,
The money could go into a reserve, and,
but that still has to be via a town meeting.
well, to start a reserve, I
Just
would
start,
think it would go,
yes.
but they could give the selectmen
It could be
privilege
written so that
to
it-
use it.
on an annual basis it gets transferred.
Right,
Yeah, reserves can be used for what they're designated
Right.
for with our approval.
right.
Yeah, so that's already there.
Right, so, I mean, some years it might be $5 left, but the year when you have 5,000 left, it's too bad to put it back into the, whereas it really could be used.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Is it too late to add some sort of language for that?
Yes.
Take advantage of it?
So I'm not familiar with what cemetery you're talking about. Is it part of the plantation?
No, we're not talking about any.
Logging on the
No.
plantation?
Oh, I have no idea what that's about, or what property that
Because I was
is.
thinking if it was a problem.
That's not what we're talking about right this second.
Right.
We're talking about something
There-
different.
there- If it was plantation logging, there is a contact with the contact if there's any
Oh, yeah,
problems.
yeah, we're not gonna fix any problem that.
No, that's
folks
nothing,
logging the
that's what we were
plantation
saying, that's
has
nothing to
created.
do with us, that's
Yeah.
forest ranger stuff. That's not anything to do with the town.
But we can tell the, if it had to do with
The forest ranger is very in contact with the David Degradola and all those guys.
the.
They-
Could you, Daniel, I know you gave me the reserve account.
Yeah.
Do we have that by line item, or is that?
I have it as an Excel sheet, yeah, not in the account itself, but I
Okay,
have
could
that.
you-
Yep,
Just so I can try and track down
Yeah.
what, because we have reserved for like sidewalk repair and
Mhm.
stuff like that, so we have some interesting reserve accounts.
Is it too late to add that kind of language to the cemetery account? I mean, this is probably prime time. I mean, is there any way we could ask for that rollover this
Seems
town
like
meeting?
a simple thing to write up, but I have no idea what it.
Could, because it's not a budget committee item.
It's not gonna increase, it's just rolling it over.
We could just add a sentence to what's in the warrant for the 5,000, just say,
There's
any
money left
addition, any excess funds will be
Put into the,
put into a reserve account for future cemetery
I think
repairs.
that might wanna be a separate. I
Was Maya's
would
separate?
much- Yeah, it was.
Yeah?
Yeah.
did his goes back into his now, is that how
Yeah.
that works?
Yeah, well, we did the same
I
thing
can't
with the
remember, it was
sheriff.
like the first year I was selectman, I just
Yeah.
remember it.
Okay. I guess I don't have a problem doing that. I mean, the board still controls the purse strings. But yeah, I don't know what you guys feel, but I'd be okay. I can just find the article where we did it with the road budget and do it for the
It's the same.
cemeteries. We do need a plan though for how it's gonna be spent, and before it's spent. Okay? All right,
So you write that up
I
for
will
the,
write that up,
oh, okay, thank you.
get that added.
We've talked about the old townhouse. Did not get approved for safety reasons, insurance. I don't know. When is the new insurance company be effective?
September 9th, either 12:01 a.m. or midnight the following,
Okay, but
around
it's-
September 9th.
Okay.
Yeah.
When is the function that the people had, they
It's
wanted
already
the,
occurred.
Yeah,
Might have
sorry.
had already occurred.
no, okay, what about the,
The other event, I believe it's,
It's right here on the
I
paper.
didn't bring a date with me, but I think it's near the end of September.
that's the
It was a memorial.
memorial service, right?
Someone who put a lot of time into.
So you
the
think that's the latter part of September?
I believe so.
Okay.
And I think it's, I mean, it needs literally two sheets of plywood screwed up over the, the railings, just so people don't go upstairs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, I know there's a strap there, but that doesn't prevent anybody from going up there, that was the only thing,
And the person involved said that she would have been more than happy to get some extra insurance.
Yeah, well, that,
To
and,
cover it, but she wasn't.
Well,
well, no, well, this is all, trust me, this is not us playing favorites or anything like that. This is us kind of flying by the seat of our pants thinking, someone brought up it's not safe, and I was like, yeah, if there's kids in a memorial service, we don't know. We don't have no idea. I
Right.
can't think of a million things at once, but yes, you folks have insurance, right?
Right, I guess what bothers me the most is that this is the most historically significant building in town. It's owned by the town, and it's gotten to a point where it's unsafe, according to you, to enter.
It's not unsafe to
Yeah.
enter, it's unsafe if there's kids running around there, if they happen to run upstairs, or somebody else. I had an uncle who had just taken at one point and gone upstairs for the fun of it, you know, people like that. That would be unsafe, do you not agree?
Yes.
Well, that's what it is.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
If it's unsafe, I think it's unsafe regardless of the insurance that you have.
Well, if somebody had an
That's true,
insurance
but
policy.
the point there is that the Historical Society always has someone there when other people are in the building. We would not have a proctor there when Walter was when they were using the building.
I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it, to be honest with you, other than it wasn't safe thinking if kids or somebody, I'd been upstairs, you know what I mean? I was just upstairs a minute ago, and it's not a place for anyone to be.
Right.
That was all.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So that was my only thing. I could care less if somebody closed the stairway off. If it would be fine. If anyone wanted to use it, you know what I mean? That would be fine with me.
What do you know about the toilet there? Anything?
I think it was working, but when I checked it this past weekend, it looks like somebody's ripped out the button for flushing it.
Oh, jeez.
Not only that, when we walked into that building to do our open house, when we went in for cleaning it ahead of time, there were 3 overhead lights on. And by the time you left, there was 1. They just kind of went out. And the light in the bathroom also went out, all by itself.
So this is kind of.
I think there's some electrical problems. I think
You
that
think?
they get
I'd be
an
shocked if
electrician
there
in
wasn't.
there.
Well, so this is all. I just met a contractor over there a minute ago because there's a rafter that's broken. It was broken 4 years ago when I went in there. We talked about it. I kind of threw out some numbers what I thought it would cost, and nobody jumped on saying we should do it. La, la, la. So it's been. If you look, you can clearly see Jeff and I stood in the parking lot. And he just looked at it, and he had a good idea about how to fix it. He's gonna come up with a price on how to sister it or how to replace it. You know, but it's gonna have to be replaced similar to what it is for historical specs, which isn't gonna be cheap, but, regardless, at some point, somebody's gotta say, we're gonna fix this building the way it should be fixed historically, or we can't just Band-Aid it for the next 50 years, because, you know what I
Have
mean?
you seen this report? I think I gave you guys a copy of it. It was done over 20 years ago, and
Yeah.
Historic Preservationist went through the building and said, this is what it needs.
Well, so Lynn, that's great, but you're the only one that's like, we should do this. So it's hard to
I'm
say.
trying to recruit others.
Well, this is the hard thing, like, one person comes to us from the town, it's hard to like jump on board, and, because it's not just your money, it's everybody's money that we're spending on this building. So you kind of need to recruit a group of people that have a vested interest in it, that want to fix it, to show, like a more of a showing, like, we like that you use it, like, because you're the only one who uses it, you know what I mean? And we'd like to see, and maybe if more people used it, maybe there'd be more interest in the town, but there isn't.
I think if it was repaired, there
Because
weren't
if
so
it's
many
unsafe.
safety issues that more people would be interested in using it.
So, but we've got to figure out how much money are we gonna spend? Are we gonna spend 50,000? Or are we gonna spend 5,000? I mean, you could easily spend 40, 50,000 I don't know what the Historical Society, that's the kicker. They're gonna make you spend twice as much as what you could to fix it and have it look great, but to make it historically, you're gonna spend twice as much. So it's kind of like, this is what we're in for limbo. You know, and then do you spend $50,000, take the roof off, take the boards off, fix all the rafters, all the purlins need to be replaced, some of them are the size of my arm. I mean, it's a miracle, nothing short of a miracle, but it never's come down, you know. It's just one of those things that doesn't, but that's what it would take. So it's kind of you need a special interest group that wants to fundraise or really push it and come to the town and say, we'd like to do this, but when it's just
Well,
you.
unfortunately, if it isn't a 501c3 organization, I mean, the town owns it,
Correct.
but it would take a 501c3 to apply for a lot of the grants that are
Right,
there.
right.
Which,
Is the historical society?
It is, but most of the grants expect the holder of the 501c3 to be the owner of the building.
So with a big enough group, or with a group at least, there's potential that the town could be the beneficiary of a grant. I mean, we could be the person applying for the grant through that group.
Well, not if it's a 501c3 requirement. But there may be other grants out there.
Yeah,
There may
okay.
be, I don't know.
Yeah.
Community
All right,
transportation.
Ed, we really need to move this
Well, I was-
along.
I'm sorry to get
I
upset.
know, we're doing okay.
Well, I've got to set up video stuff.
Okay. Bye. No. All right, so I don't know what to say. I think we've said that the insurance will be on the building, so there won't be an insurance problem for the end of September.
We can remedy something.
Can you
Make
put
sure
a
they-
couple, get a couple pieces of
I'll
plywood, or have
I
someone?
will, or I'll have that fellow put a couple pieces of plywood on or
Okay, now
whatever.
take care of the second floor, which is the main,
Just to close it off so people don't go upstairs.
okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like there probably won't be a tour.
Or lights.
Yeah.
I think the party that made the request is going to be holding the service and the refreshments.
Is going to what?
They're gonna use the Parsonsfield Union, Parsonsfield Union Church.
The what?
Across
I'm
the
sorry.
street. Across the street.
Oh, the church across the street?
Okay.
Okay. Well, we can still do that, just to keep it
Right.
Yeah, but then if
marginally
somebody
open
else-
for people.
And somebody else asked, but I mean, like you said, there's electrical, something electrical, and, I mean, there's plenty of exits. If there was a fire, I mean, there's exits, but.
All right. So that'll keep us going until we come up with a plan. Maybe Lynn comes up with a plan for us to how to renovate the building.
We have a plan. We've had it for 20-something
Well,
years.
Well, you gotta convince the people of the town to spend that much money. That's the thing, you know?
I mean, you can get a warrant for not this year, but next year, signed by 80 some odd people, saying they want to put so much money into the town, into the repair of the town hall, the old town hall. It'll work.
And that's going to be a chunk.
All right, let's keep going here. We signed a memo for rescue. We had some money in our ARPA fund for a new ambulance. We're sending that money to rescue with the understanding that if for some reason the ambulance doesn't get purchased, that money comes back to us and actually be probably put into road repairs and bridge repairs. We have a chip pile of wood at Maplewood. They'd like us to get rid of it by the first storm. I really don't know why, but that's what they wrote us. We've talked about Election Day and the town meeting. Our CPR class was postponed. Still have a workshop request from Gary Taylor to discuss Province Lake Road being turned over to the town. I'm assuming that's still current, and we can schedule that maybe next week.
Will be okay.
Yeah.
I think we got all the information now.
Okay. We do have a public meeting scheduled, public hearing on the potential road closures, and at 6 o'clock, so have a nice day, folks. Stop by if you can get here in 15 minutes. Thanks, Danielle.